is in full swing, but some of the biggest music events, both in the UK and internationally, are still dominated by male acts. Well, now there's a new festival on the scene, and it features a female-only lineup. Here to talk a bit more about it is its co-founder, Heather Peace, and a music journalist and radio presenter, Georgie Rogers. Good evening to you both. Heather, I think it's good to start with you. So what is going on with the music industry right now, where music festivals are largely dominated by male acts?
Yeah, there's kind of a real disparity on festivals in general, as Georgia will agree. Certainly worldwide, we're looking at kind of 19% of festival lineups are female artists or female-fronted bands. So that leaves 81% male artists. And as far as I'm aware, there aren't really less women doing music, because it starts at music college, and that's kind of 50-50 when you get taken on there. So I'm a music editor for Diva magazine. I'm also a musician and an actor. So I'm from the other side of the field, if you like. But I sort of delved into it through being a music editor, looking through my emails and listening to everything that gets sent through, thinking most of it must be rubbish because I haven't heard of you. And it wasn't. And I was like, well, where is this platform for women at the grassroots to take them to the next stage? So to cut a long story short, we came up with Hear Her, which is Hear Her Festival, which is a music festival, but it's meant to be more than that. So this year it's going to be 3 days, all-female lineup festival. We had Katie Tunstall headlining last year, who's now come on board as an ambassador and is kind of at the forefront of our message, really, which is just bringing women from the grassroots up, wouldn't you say, including in production and in sound engineering and all of that. Women kind of need to get these opportunities at the grassroots to take them to the next levels. And we want to create a festival where the bigger festivals are looking at us as a nurturing ground to say, well, when they say there isn't the talent, we go, well, yeah, there is. And here we are kind of bringing it to you.
Georgie, what's going on? Why are we seeing this divide with festival organisers just leaning towards more male acts than female?
It's hard to say. I mean, you look at the Key Change initiative by PRS, which is making huge waves in this field. Their whole pledge is to get festivals on board to make a pledge that by 2020 it'll be equal gender across festivals. Not all the massive promoters have signed up to that, but I think it's putting pressure on the big promoters and the big event organisers and major festivals to actually redress the balance here. Look at Glastonbury and Emily Evis and Michael Evis achieved across all 100% of slots, 42% this year were female, which is huge compared with what we had a few years ago. Like you said, there's no shortage of female acts.
No,
there's female
really
musicians doing amazing work, and it isn't just a tick box thing here that
It seems there's a demand.
Yeah, and we're not saying
People do like
yes, the musicians are there, and sometimes within the sort of technical side of things, perhaps producers and sound engineers, perhaps there aren't that many at the top of their game, but that's because they're not being brought in at the grassroots. And as a festival, we want to become a movement where we can take producers, like we talked about backstage, producers and engineers into schools to inspire girls there, give artists bursaries, coming from music college to make their first EP. It's just about getting them in at the grassroots, because there's no point saying 50-50 unless you're good at your job, but they're not getting those opportunities at the grassroots level.
So we're hearing lots of women. I have to say, put it to some of the guys in the newsroom and said, would you go to a female festival? And they said, yeah, of course we would, but can men go?
Yeah, oh gosh, everybody's more than welcome. The fact is, the festival has to be, first and foremost, a safe space for women to enjoy themselves, know that they're going to get home safe on an evening. We're an indoor festival anyway, so it's cabins and an indoor venue because it's in October. But it has to be a safe space for everyone, primarily. But I reckon any guy who's going to put his hand in his pocket and pay to see an all-female lineup is the kind of guy we're going to want there anyway. So, yeah.
Georgie, how do you think this could, if more festivals started to make sure they included women, how could this change things for female performers, what do you think?
Well, I just think, having these conversations, it's all very well having the conversations, but actual tangible proof of for example, with a female festival that there's female acts that can make up a whole lineup, brilliant female acts.
I had so many we had to turn down.
Yeah.
Brilliant ones, so.
That's proof, but then also, I think Primavera Sound are leading the way with 50-50 splits. But going forwards, it's a platform for women to grow, and then hopefully in the next few years there'll be these big female headliners.
Well, Heather, you might caught on to something. Some organisers might be missing a trick here, but Heather Peace and Georgie Rogers, good talking to you both. Thank you.